Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today our group 5 will present about the practical for the plant efficiency energy. Okay, first is the procedure for using multimeter practical. Before this, our group consists of 5 members, which is me, Muhammad Fahid, Muhammad Izzat, Ashraf, and also Shahida. For the introduction, a multimeter, or could also called as a multitester, is known as a WOM, which is volt ohm millimeter. It's an electronic measuring instrument that combines several measure functions in one unit. There are a few parameters to analyze for this electronic measurement, which is that already save costs to purchase voltmeter, ohmmeter, and ammeter tools. Multimeter are very cheap and one of the most commonly used piece of electronic test equipment. This figure shows the gambar of multimeter that being used worldwide. For the objective for multimeter practical, to understand and learn how to use the multimeter to measure the current, resistance, and also voltage. Second is to understand how to exactly use the meter in the circuit as obtaining the correct reading. For the procedure, how to use voltage reading is first a black lead is insert in the COM jack, then the lead is insert into the volt jack. Meanwhile, when finished, the lead is removed by reverse order, which is red first and then baru hitam. Then test lead are connected to the circuit with a black lead first and also followed by the red lead. The measurement value is displayed on the screen as a multimeter. When the finish, the red lead is removed first, then the second is black. The range button is pressed to capture a stable measurement. Is okay view after the measurement is complete. Okay, this is to how to calculate or to reading the voltage reading. Next is how to measure the current reading. Okay, first is the meter is turned on, the black probe is connected to the negative slot while the red is for the positive slot. Okay, then the main selector is switched on the correct measurement type. Ada button kat tengah tu, kita just alihkan for the arus. Okay, then analog multimeter is set to DC current. Next is the multimeter probe is connected at the brake circuit to read the current reading. For the resistor reading, the perkara yang sama dibuat, iaitu kita hanya menukar probe hitam dan merah itu pada kedudukan yang berlainan pada circuit tersebut, and we just exchange the kat tengah tu to read the ohms meter. Okay, that is how to read the resistance. For the observation, this multimeter can measure the current, resistance, and voltage. Second is two color of probe commonly used, which is red and black. Next is black is for the positive and the red is for the negative. Okay, this measurement tool is very important to be used to measure the voltage for electrical appliance. Kita boleh guna untuk mengukur alat-alat elektrik seperti lampu dan sebagainya. This tool is already set to analyze the electrical part without any calculation being made. For the discussion, there are a few perbezaan antara analog and digital multimeter. First is less costly compared to the digital counterpart due to simplify construction and the power supply being required. For the digital, it's more expensive than analog and have a complicated construction and also require a power supply. Next is for analog is the range has to be adjusted by the user, while the digital is adjusted automatically. Okay, next is more complicated for the mechanical handle rather than a digital multimeter. For the digital, the mechanical handle can be easily rotated to turn the circuit to its peaks. For the conclusion, student must be able to use the digital multimeter. Second is student already understand and verify how to measure the different parameter for the appliance measure. Next is the student should also be familiar with the effect of the meter on the current measure. Next is able to use the color band on the resistance to determine the value. Next is the final is student should be known how to calibrate the multimeter if the reading did not tally with the theoretical or calculation value. That's all for practical one. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad Fahid bin Baba. Now I would like to present about the practical of plant energy efficiency about the lighting equipment. For the introduction, an electric device that convert electrical energy into visible light is referred to a lighting equipment. It is most popular type of artificial lighting and is necessary in modern civilization, providing interior lighting for building as well as outside illumination for evening and night times activity. A lamp is a disposable component that generates light from the electricity. In technical terms, light bulb are another names for the lamps. Consider the incandescent light bulb. Lamp often features a base composed of ceramic, metal, glass, or plastic that attach the lamp in a light fixture socket. For the objective, first thing is to identify the types of lighting equipments in Baidosi pilot plant ETHM. Second is to calculate the total cost of operation for lighting equipment in 8 hours operating per day and its efficiency. And lastly is to suggest an improvement to the operation to save the cost for operation of lighting equipment. For the observation, during the practical, students must observe the lighting equipment placed at the Baidosi facility. Each piece Each piece of equipment has a unique set of specifications. At Biodiesel, 3 types of bulb were used: T8, T5, and Sun E40. They each have a distinct power rating and use. So this is the total lightning equipment usage for the 8 hours. We can see that the total or average used for 8 hour for 40 days, 14 days is around 444 ringgit Malaysia. The efficiency percentage is 82.88%. For the discussion, during the practical process at the Biodiesel station, we found that the equipment is different type for each place. Some places use the T8 types and some places use the T4, T5 in the room. For plant, they use Sun E40, which is the output of the lighting is bigger and lighter. After that, the plant is built long ago and the specification is not clearly. We need to refer it from the internet to get the specification of its users. We use the tape and adjustable stair to reach bulb and measure its length. Then the efficiency of lighting equipment is 82.88%. That is very effective and then usage is worth. For the conclusion, to summarize, multiple types of lighting equipment are employed for lighting purpose, and the plant uses the 3 types of illumination. After referring to the specification of each bulb from the specification company, the efficiency for all of the lighting equipment that has been utilized has estimated to be 82.88% for the entire lighting equipment. However, lighting equipment is commonly utilized in the business for lighting purpose to aid in working at night, as human cannot see properly without light. To minimize cost, it is advised that we replace the type of bulb that use fewer watt than existing bulb, while still producing the same amount of light. This manner we can save some money. This all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izzaduddin Bitsman, and today I want to present about the practical 3 about air conditioning equipment. Okay, for introduction, first, refrigeration is a process of moving heat from one location to another in controller condition. Second, heat transport work is generally powered by mechanical work, but it can also be driven by heat mechanism, electricity, laser, or another means. Third, air conditioner use refrigeration to chill indoor air, taking advantage of a remarkable physical law. And the last, air conditioner take advantage of this fast conversion property by forcing particular chemical compound to evaporate. For objective, there are 4 objectives this project. First, identify type of refrigeration system in biodiesel pilot plant. Second, using several theories and techniques about energy cost of refrigeration. Third, using knowledge and skill to perform the energy management. And the last, identify on how to save the energy cost of refrigeration system. Okay, for result, there are about 12 air conditioning units in the biodiesel plant, with 2 types of equipment, wall mounted and ceiling universal. There are 5 air conditioning wall mounted and 7 air conditioning ceiling universal from the total of 12. We must calculate heat generate, horsepower and energy efficiency ratio, and power consumption and cost calculation. Next, observation. First, we find that air conditioning is the one refrigeration system in the biodiesel plant. Different places may install the different type of air conditioning system. Second, for this biodiesel plant that we have observed along this experiment, there is about 9 rooms using air conditioning with different quantity. For the lab, we observe some of energy waste. This is because there is a few air conditioning operate when there is not need. Okay, for the discussion, choose one part of equipment for this system and compare with the same equipment. First, air conditioner can currently be rated up to 5 stars. The more star, the more efficient and more safe energy. Second, it can compare the efficiency of different products using the star. However, must compare products of the same or similar size. If two products have the same star rating and same capacity output, it can see which product is more efficiency by choosing the one with the lower power input. For the conclusion, from the experiment that we have done, we can get know about the air conditioning system. Second, different type of air conditioner system may be installed in different locations. And the last, the result of the total cost show that the energy used in range of higher. This means a few steps of energy saving must be taken. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Miraj Ramanusti. I will present the report of cooling tower. Introduction. For the objective of the practical is to determine the type of cooling tower used in biodiesel plant THM. After that is to calculate the total cost of operation and its efficiency of cooling tower in 8 hours per day. Lastly, to suggest an improvement to the operation to save the cost of operation in operation of air compression. The procedure of this practical is firstly, the practical knowledge about the electrical motor was briefed by the instructor. After that, personal protective equipment was worn by the student before they carry out the practical. The location of cooling tower was identified based on the PNID. The type of power used for the cooling tower was observed and analyzed. All equipment data of air compression was recorded and the equipment data of the cooling tower such as temperature are obtained from the equipment tag. Thermometer was used to measure the temperature of the water to calculate the mechanical power produced by the cooling tower. The cost of operation of cooling tower was calculated using the formula given. The result was examined and analyzed to improve the energy cost by using the best technical and economic option. For the observation, from this practical, the student was observed the type of cooling tower that has been installed at the biodiesel plants. A cross-flow cooling tower is used at the THM biodiesel facility to cool the utilities line and provide cooling to the plant. The wind current is directed in the opposite direction as the water stream in cross-flow cooling tower. Water stream opposite to the air through the field by gravity. The air proceeds through the field and in this way pass the water stream into an open plenum volume. Finally, a fan blows fresh air into the room close to the highest point of a cross-flow tower is a dispersion or high temperature water bowl, which consists of a deep dish with opening or spout in its base. Water is uniformly spread over the field material by gravity through the spout. For the discussion, many factors influence cooling tower selection due to an increase in circulation water temperature and increase the electrical operation cost. An incorrectly selected cooling tower will result in a financial loss in production. The importance of properly specified and designed cooling tower that require minimum maintenance cannot be oversimplified. Due to the large amount of electric power that the cooling tower consumes to provide a cooling tower of the specific temperature and flow rate. Design of the cooling tower network to optimize the water flow rate or to find the best combination of the water return temperature and the pressure drop in the network. The size and performance of the cooling tower required to determine by the following factor. Firstly is mass flow rate of water, approach to wet bulb temperature, tower type, hot water temperature, and lastly cool water temperature. For the conclusion, finally, while improving the efficiency of individual system component has reduced overall energy consumption. Even greater saving can be achieved by improving the way cooling systems are designed and operate. Before an engineer can start sizing a cooling tower, they must first understand some theories. The cooling tower process is generally related to vapor pressure of water and humidity. This theory can be briefly described in this guideline in order to provide a basic understanding of how to calculate them. Cooling tower sizing can simply be done by graphical method. Some additional calculations such as water makeup, fan pump, horsepower calculation. That's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, for the next practical, I will introduce about the air compressor. Okay, air compressor is defined as a machine that is used to increase pressure of the gas by reducing its volume or mechanical device that compress the gas. It's similar like a pump, but the difference is the working fluid on it. Okay, for the example application such as sandblasting or painting. Next is the compressor is that located at the UTHM biodiesel plant is a positive displacement compressor type, which is a rotary screw compressor. Next is the horsepower for that compressor is about 25 to 3000 horsepower. Okay, next the screw air compressor is functioning to provide a continuously flow of compressed air for the client use. Alright, as mentioned in this slide, this is a screw air compressor that have at the compressor room. Okay, this is the tagging and also the part of the cooling of the air compressor in the compressor room. Alright. Okay, for the objective of the air compressor is to identify the type of air compressor in biodiesel plant UTHM, which is a screw rotary type. Next is to calculate the total cost of operating for air compressor in 8 hours operation per day and its efficiency. And next objective is to suggest an improvement to the operation to save the cost for operation of air compressor at UTHM biodiesel. For the procedure, for this practical is first practical knowledge about air compressor by briefing by Haji Daud. Next is personal protective equipment that must be wear for the student to carry out this practical, which is such as a normal coveralls and safety boot, safety helmet, and so on. Okay, next is the type and power user are observed and analyzed for the air compressor. All the type is recorded for the data of air compressor. All the equipment data of air compressor such as temperature and pressure are obtained or measured from the equipment tagging. Okay, next the cost operation of air compressor is calculated using the formula given. The result is examined and analyzed to improve the energy cost by using the best technical and economical option. Alright, this is the simple for calculation as a result for air compressor, and the total energy used per day after calculate is around 16.98 kilowatt hour. So the total energy used per month is only multiple by 30, and we got around 509.4 kilowatt hours. That is the calculation for the user for 1 month. Alright, when we talk about the tarif for TMB, okay, our total of kilowatt hours for per month is 509.4. So for the rate for 200, the rate percent is 38.00. So the cost for a month is 76 ringgit, and the balance for 309.4 for rate is 44.1. The total cost is around 136.45. And so the total for a month for air compressor is around 212.45 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, for the discussion, the energy efficiency of air compressor can be defined as a ratio of the compressed air output to input power. The recovered heat from the air compressor can potentially be used as an energy efficiency measure for other processes such as space and water heating. Okay, they recommended to make a purchase decision on the overall expected lifetime operation cost, and not just for the initial cost of the equipment only, not just the initial cost only. We must fikir the long term, jarak jauh. Okay, so next is the reducing leakage is a key measure that can be used to improve the energy efficiency. Sebarang leakage yang berlaku boleh menyebabkan efisiensi itu semakin menurun. So leakage activity untuk recheck all the leakage such as measured by the pressure, flow, and so on can detect or recognize the leakage problem. Okay, that's all from the discussion. For the conclusion, the energy efficiency of air compressor can be defined as a ratio of compressed air output to the input power. Next, the most accurate method of determine average compressor efficiency is as Archimedes suggests, to directly measure the input power and compressed air output over time. Last but not least, when use compressor air for any application, attempts should be made to minimize the quality and pressure of air used, well as ensure running time is of shortest possible duration. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad Faiz bin Babar. Now I would like to present about the practice of plant energy efficiency about the boiler. For the introduction, boiler, also called the steam generator, apparatus designed to convert a liquid to vapor. In a conventional steam boiler, in steam power plant, a boiler consists of furnace in which fuel is burned, surface to transmit heat from the combustion product to the water, and space where the steam found and collect. A conventional boiler has a furnace that burns a fossil fuel, or in the same installation with water, with fuel. A nuclear reactor can be served as a source of heat for generating steam under pressure. For the objective, first thing is to identify type of boiler in the UTHM biodiesel pilot plant. Second is to identify all mechanisms related to the boiler. Third is apply theory and technique for energy costing for boiler. Fourth is apply knowledge and skills to perform energy management. And lastly is to identify the parameter on how to save the energy cost for boiler. So this is the total cost to operate a boiler system for biodiesel pilot plant in 8-hour daytime. After calculate all the uses, the total user that we collect and calculated is around 38,560 watt per 8-hour daytime. For the observation, Based on the result of this experiment, we can conclude that the fire tube boiler provides the majority of the electricity for the biodiesel pilot plant. A fire tube is a fire water filled system that partially fill a boiler barrel, leaving a little volume above the accommodation system. The heat source is contained within a furnace or firebox that must be constantly surrounded by the water in order to keep the temperature of the heating surface below the boiler point. A fire tube boiler typically have a modest rate of steam output but a large capacity for steam storage. For the discussion, a metal fiber technology burner which was emerged within the last 5 to 10 years have become widely accepted among a large industry burner manufacturer. The process neither include a traditional flame stabilization diffuser nor produce the more typical diffuser based flame. Rather, the fluid and air are pre-freezed and the flame is stabilized on a metal fiber material. This surface stabilized combustion stretch the flame enable the burner to reach single digit knots level without FGR. For the conclusion, the main objective of this task is to analyze the total cost of an energy on boiler for biodiesel pilot plant for 8-hour daytime and to identify all the mechanisms in boiler had been achieved. With this, we have identified that the tariff issued by the TNB used if tariff is specialized for industrial tariff. In this tariff, it has been issued that a new rate with RM 37 ringgit Malaysia kilowatt per hour. The total cost for energy for 8 hours operating is around 1,462 and 72 cents ringgit Malaysia. From this activity, student also has identified the proper PPE that should be used during the operating boiler. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, for the next, it's about the practical 7, chiller. For the introduction, first, a chiller is a machine that removes heat from a liquid or air by using a vapor compression or absorption refrigeration cycle. Second, all the equipment data of chiller such as torch and power rating obtained from the equipment test recorded. Third, vapor compressor chiller may use any of a number of different types of compressor. And the last, most common today are the hermetic screw, semi-hermetic screw, or centrifugal compressor. There are 3 objectives in this project as follows. First, to identify the type of chiller used in biodiesel plant, UTHN, and second, to calculate the total cost of operation for chiller in 8 hours operation per day and its efficiency, and the last, suggest an improvement to the operation to save the cost for operation of chiller. Okay, for the observation, at UTHN biodiesel plant, the chiller consists of pumping framework that circulate cool water or a water gas solution from the chiller to the procedure. Second, this cool liquid expels heat from the procedure and the warm liquid comes back to the chiller. And the third chiller contains a chemical compound called a refrigerant. And the last 2 unit measure to be estimated in kilowatt. And second, COP of a chiller change with the cooling load on a chiller, and every chiller has a different COP. Okay, for the discussion, first, chiller fall under 2 main categories, which are vapor compression and vapor absorption chillers. Second, vapor compression chillers are the most commonly used and fit into 2 subcategories, which are air chillers and water chillers. And the third, water chiller remove heat by pumping water through a sealed condenser and dispersing it through the cooling tower. And the last, chillers running in efficiency also result in decreased equipment reliability, increased maintenance intervals, and shortened lifespan. For conclusion, chiller efficiencies have improved steadily over the past decade due to advances in controls, refrigerant, and equipment design. Second, testing entails spectrometric chemical analysis to identify impurities such as moisture, acids, and metals that affect performance and efficiency. For the last, the study must be performed by a recognized chemical laboratory that specializes in HVAC equipment. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Ashraf Rusdi. I will present about electric motor. For the introduction, the objective of this practical is determine the type of electric motor in biodiesel plant UTHM. After that is to calculate the total cost of operation and efficiency of electric motor in 8 hours per day. Lastly is to suggest an improvement to the operation to save the cost of operation of electric motor. The procedure of this practical is firstly the practical knowledge about the electric motor was briefed by the instructor. personal protective equipment was worn by the student before they carry out the practical. The location of the electric motor was identified based on PNID. The type and power used for the electric motor was observed and analyzed. Next is the all equipment data of electric motor was recorded, and the equipment data of electric motor such as torque and power rating are obtained from the equipment tag. The cost of operation of electric motor was calculated using the formula given. And lastly, the result was examined and analyzed to improve the energy cost by using the best technical and economic option. For the observation, the student has observed the type of electric motor that has been installed at the biodiesel plant because of this practical. Each electric motor has a specific application that involve their direct or indirect contact with the process. The biodiesel plant had 10 different motor models, each with a different power rating and the application. To accurately calculate the total energy used by electrical motor, we must first correctly identify the working time of the electric motor. Not every motor runs continuously for 8 hours, must only run when necessary, such as when transferring CPO from one vessel to another. Because the process does not involve the electric motor, some of electric motor does not operate. What distinguishes an electric motor from mechanical engine is its significance. The voltage and current supply of an electric motor can be adjusted to act as the motor in both forward and backward direction, or as a generator in both direction. To achieve the maximum motor efficiency, experts recommend the following, which is eliminate voltage ambulance, replace the VBAC with co-gauge or synchronous back drive, avoid nuisance tripping, lastly maintain motor shaft alignment. Finally, the advantage and disadvantage of AC and DC are depending on the application of which the motor are used. The term AC and DC refer how electric current is transferred through and out of the motor, and they serve different purpose. AC motor, on the other hand, are widely used in industry that use AC source voltage. As a result, this practical is designed to calculate the cost of electric motor and their efficiency to assess the biodiesel plant performance and improve its efficiency.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Maisha Bin Mazi. My matrix number is AN180001. Today I want to present about electrical appliance. Okay, this is my group members. First of all, for the introduction is about the electrical. Okay, in this task we need to investigate about the electrical in our plant, which is as we know, all the thing in our world nowadays is using the electrical. Okay, using the electric energy in this plant. In our plant biodiesel at Itetion, we know if they don't have any electrical energy, the plant biodiesel cannot run in the process and cannot run in the boiler, cooling tower and control room and so on. As you can see, electrical is the main power in our plant biodiesel. So our objective, we have 3 objectives, which is first to know what the electrical appliance in plant biodiesel. Second one, to calculate the efficiency of electrical, okay, in 8 hours per day. Okay, then the third one, the improvement, okay, and improvement of the electrical appliance. Okay, for the voltage reading and current reading, okay, as you can see, okay, this statement is in our plant biodiesel use many value of voltage because to run several process, okay, boiler, chiller, cooling tower and so on. So if we have the electric current, so we have a voltage. What is the voltage? Voltage is the pressure of the current push the electron to the circle loop, which is the voltage is can appear if the current appear. Okay, so from that statement we know in our plant biodiesel we need to have a current circuit, okay, to run the process. Okay, now we proceed to the calculation. Okay, I put a table and list out what things that use the electrical circuit, electrical energy. Okay, in this calculation, we use two formula, which is efficiency, and the second one, the costing of the efficiency, the costing of the operation. Okay, I also put the calculation in this slide. After we calculate all these things, then we need to complete the table so we can see per day how much we use per day, the cost per day and the cost per month. This calculation we need to calculate every month. Okay, so every month and every day, so we know how many costing we need to use. Okay, for the observation, we at plant have 3 phase of the electrical. Okay, for the example, the AC use the different level of voltage. Okay, the AC use the different level of voltage because we can save the electrical energy. Okay, by the way, why we calculate the efficiency of the electrical energy, because we can know is it valuable or is it more or less we need to saving electric. Okay, for this task, after we calculate, we getting the huge value 65.80% of the efficiency electric. So that means we need to more maintenance and more to check up our each process. Okay, because to avoid from the wasting energy. For the discussion, as we can see, the calculation, the efficiency of the electrical energy is so important. So we need to know for each process. Okay, for the example, the fuel that produced from the heat. Okay, we can see it release more of heat, rejected heat. So we can conclude that efficiency of electrical energy, if the value too huge value, so we can need to do maintenance or we can need to check up the process to make sure all the process are getting much better from the efficiency. So we need to reduce the value of the efficiency for the electrical energy. For the conclusion, energy composition efficiency is so important and they have several of calculation. Okay, the calculation we need to consider for the value. If the value of efficiency too high, so we need to do maintenance or we need to check up of the stuff at each part. Okay, we also prove the efficiency in our calculation part. Then we know the efficiency, energy efficiency conversion is related to the mechanical energy, to electrical energy and power energy, also a sum of the main power in our plant. Okay, if we don't have any electrical energy, so we cannot run the plant in our biodiesel plant at THM. So the main things is we need to achieve of our three objective in this task. Okay, thank you.